Dan.
I moved here over 40 years ago. This is my first time here. So tell me, how do I address you all? Mr. Mayor and council members? Okay. So, Mr. Mayor and council members, thank you for this privilege. This is the first time I've ever done this in Phoenix, so thank you very much. I invite us all to bow our heads and let us be in an attitude of prayer. God, like a baker, you bring the leaven which causes our hopes to rise. With your strong and gentle hands, shape our lives. Warm us with your love. Take our common lives and touch them with your grace, that we may nourish hope among humanity. We pray, trusting in the differing names by which we call you. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first part of our meeting will be the Assisted Housing Governing Board. So we'll do that agenda first and then move on to our formal agenda. Will the clerk please call the roll of the Assisted Housing Governing Board?
Board Member DeCiccio. Board Member Gallego.
Here.
Board Member Gates.
Here.
Board Member Lopez.
Here.
Board Member Nowakowski.
Here.
Board Member Pastor.
Here.
Board Member Valenzuela.
Here.
Board Member Williams. Here. Vice Chair Waring.
Here.
Chairman Stanton.
Here. The first item of business is approval of the minutes from January 21st, 2015. Does a member of this board have a motion on the minutes?
I move the minutes.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council? Any additions or changes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. The next item is a proposed resolution authorizing the city manager or his designee to seek approval of a non-smoking policy to prevent smoking inside all city-managed public housing units, but to allow smoking in designated smoking areas, further allowing the city manager or his designee to take all actions and execute all documents as may be necessary or appropriate to implement the provisions of the resolution. Do we have a motion on that item?
Motion approved.
We have a motion in favor of the proposed resolution. We have a second. Any comments? Are there any cards on this item? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Next item is a proposed resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for and accept rental assistant demonstration conversion permission from the U.S. Housing Urban Development Department and further authorize the city manager to take all actions to execute said resolution. Do we have a motion on that resolution?
Motion approved.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Do we have a motion to adjourn the Assisted Housing Governing Board? A motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Motion approved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Excellent work. Thank you for your service on
Thank
the
you very
Assisted
much.
Housing Governing
Thanks for
Board.
having
Thank
me.
you for joining us.
Aye.
We'll now move into our formal meeting of the City Council. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio. Councilwoman Gallego.
Here.
Councilman Gates.
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilman Valenzuela.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Waring. Mayor Stanton.
Here. We are fortunate to have an interpreter, Miss Judy Holm, with us. Please introduce yourself for the audience.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Judy, soy intérprete de español. Si alguien necesita el equipo, por favor venga conmigo o con el personal de la ciudad. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Would the city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G5998 through G6006 S41454 through S41477, and resolutions number 21295 through 21298.
All right, next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes. Councilman Valenzuela, did you have a chance to review the meeting minutes for the formal meeting December 3rd, 2014?
I have, and I'll move for approval.
We have a motion and a second on meeting minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Do we have a motion on mayor's boards and commissions?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Next item is approval of city council members, boards, and commission nominations.
Move approval of council members, boards, and commission nominations. Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Do we have members of the public who are here to be sworn in? We do? All right. Please come forward. Come to my right, your left, and we'll swear you in, and then come behind the dais, and the council members would like to say thank you for your service.
Submitted.
Only myself to blame for that one.
I'd pull a few more just to keep up. See the horrified look on everybody's face. My ultimate goal is keep us here long enough so we're all stuck in rush hour traffic. Goal doesn't make any sense. Not to be confused with a meritorious goal. It's just a goal.
Again.
All right, thank you in advance for your service. Next item on the agenda is liquor license applications. Vice Mayor, do you have a motion on liquor license applications?
Do move approval items 1 through 27, except items 2, 14, 16, 18, and 24.
Second.
And Leonard Clark has pulled 2, 14, 16, and 24 and wants to speak about them all at once.
Okay. So we have a motion on liquor license applications. We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. What are the next item, Vice Mayor?
Move approval items 2, 14, 16, and 24.
We have a motion. We have a second. Mr. Leonard Clark, did you wish to provide testimony on those items?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and thank you for letting me speak. My name is Leonard Clark. Live in Phoenix, lived here all my life. I just wanted to ask you to please strongly support these temporary liquor licenses because they're all good causes. Athletes Helping Athletes Foundation, Arizona Hemophilia Association, the Phoenix Art Museum, and the Children's Museum of Phoenix. These are all very important causes, and in this day and age, not just in Phoenix, but of the tough economic situations that we face in our country, in our state, and our city, if any of us get a chance, if I can get a chance to go to these, if you can, please go, and I ask my fellow citizens to help out on these causes, because that's the only way we're going to make things better is by helping each other in that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark, for your testimony. We have a motion on those items. We have a second. Any additional comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They pass unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Laura.
Which item is it? Item 18? Okay, so item 18 is in District 4. Councilman Pastor, what's your pleasure? You want to hear a staff report on this item?
I would like to hear a staff report.
We get a short staff report on item number 18.
Mayor and members of the council, this request is for an ownership transfer of a Series 6 license from Pizza Crazy LLC to D&L Phoenix Inc. for a topless bar operating as Roxy Show Girls. This location was previously licensed for liquor sales and is currently operating with an interim permit. Consideration may be given only to the applicant's personal qualifications and not to the location. One letter protesting the issuance of this license had originally been filed in the office of the city clerk. However, that letter of protest was withdrawn by the protester on February 17th. Therefore, there are currently no protests or petitions on file in the office of the city clerk for this application at this time. Staff recommends approval of this application.
Thank you very much. Councilman, I do have the one card in favor of the item. Do you wish to make a motion? You want to hear the card first?
I'll go to the card first.
Mr. Randy Roberts is here in favor of the item. Did you wish to provide testimony on this item? Please come forward, up to 2 minutes of testimony.
Thank you, Council, for letting me talk. I know Laura Pastor is a little confused as to why the Westwood community decided to rescind their liquor license application protest. And that is because when we sent in the letter protesting the liquor license transfer, the applicant himself came forward and addressed us and asked us to meet. Upon meeting with him, it became apparent that he was actually going to be the best person we could possibly imagine to run this establishment. Lots of history and education and understanding of this business. He is putting in place things that will stop the violence and the prostitution and the drugs and the gang problems there. And he put those all in writing for the Westwood Community Association. And at that time, we felt that there was really no anything that was stopping him from being the best person we could possibly imagine for that position. So instead of just coming here and trying to protest something that was not really protestable anymore, we decided to rescind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roberts. Also in favor of the item, not wishing to speak according to the card, but if you change your mind, it's perfectly fine too. Duke Wynn, who is the applicant. Mr. Wynn, are you here? Good to see you. Did you wish to provide testimony or just want to? And then Peter Shellstraight, who is the attorney for the applicant. Councilwoman Pastor.
I'm in a difficult situation only because Westwood is an area that I am very much aware of the dynamics that are happening within there. And an establishment like this, I feel, should not be in that area. However, we cannot, due to the laws and the statutes, that we vote on the person who is obtaining the license, and it's about their background. It's not about the establishment. And so with this agreement that I have in front of me, I'm going to hold you to it because at the end of the day, it really is about that area and making an agreement amongst the neighbors and within the jobs in the workforce. So I don't know any other way to say it. And so due to that, I will be voting yes for the liquor license. Oh, may I make a motion for approval? Second.
You may. So I think it's fair to call it a reluctant motion for approval under the legal circumstances that we are in, not in demonstrating support for the underlying business, but understanding that this is a ownership transfer at the same location. So the only issues we're able to look at are the qualifications of the applicant, noting that we can't legally enforce it, but we are demonstrating support for whatever agreement that the applicant has come to with the neighborhood that can be hopefully enforced by the neighborhood, but demonstrated support. Those are the reasons why the Councilwoman has indicated a motion in favor. We have a motion. We have a second. Any additional comments by members of this council?
I have a question.
Please.
The applicant, it appears to have had a couple fines for failure to derive 40% of income from food and failing to keep records. Could we talk about those and how we feel they were addressed? We're not concerned.
Mayor, members of the council, from a staff's perspective, typically for an establishment that we're looking at their ownership transfer, Those particular violations are in relationship to a Series 12 restaurant license and are more administrative in nature. And it's not uncommon that that would happen. The Department of Liquor then provides them an opportunity to correct that. So in this particular case, they have been audited, and since then they haven't had an issue since, I think it's 2011. Therefore, it's not typically a sufficient basis for denial based on the person's capability, qualifications, and reliability.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions by members of the body? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
We have one no vote, so the item passes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval, request approval for planning hearing officer's recommendation without further hearing by the City Council on matters heard by the planning hearing officer on Wednesday, January 21st, 2015.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments? Any cards in this item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 29 is the next item on the agenda. I think it's the third time we've heard this item. The record reflects that Councilman DeCiccio has a potential conflict on this item. Can we get a report from our city staff?
Mayor and members of the council, this request is for a new Series 12 license for a restaurant doing business as Charlie Fine. Consideration may be given to the applicant's personal qualifications and to the location. No petition or protest letters were received by the City Clerk Department during the 20-day public comment period. Staff recommends approval of this application.
Okay, thank you very much. We do have two cards in opposition. One is donating the time. Steve Ratternick is donating his time to Ms. Jean Lawson. Ms. Lawson, did you wish to provide testimony on item number 29?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is Jean Lawson, and I live at 4320 East Cali Felice, just 4 houses from Charlie Fine, the new restaurant going in at 4730 North 44th Street. The property is a residential home that is being converted to a restaurant. I am concerned that Charlie Fines will present dangerous conditions that come with having a restaurant with limited parking and a liquor license in our neighborhood. We have graciously met with Mr. Flanagan, and I no longer believe he has been completely forthcoming with his intentions. On February 4th, he presented the council with what he says are 50 signatures of his neighbors. I sent to each council member and can present again today a map and spreadsheet that will show the 49 signatures he had in favor. 1 is the applicant's address, either his wife or girlfriend. 6 are businesses on 44th Street or Camelback. 2 are renters. 3 voted for both for and against. 20 are on the east side of 44th Street, and 1 is south of the canal. Many of the in favors are not directly impacted by the restaurant. Therefore, 32 of the 49 signatures Mr. Flanagan received in favor are not impacted and should hold less weight than those against. In addition, I have received several emails from those who signed Mr. Flanagan's petition stating he told them it was only for beer and wine license, and now that they know differently, they would like to change their votes. Of the remaining residents, 22 did not sign for or against, as they may not have been contacted. 10 have signed against. I do believe if I were to go door to door, I would obtain more against than in favor if all the facts were disclosed. In light of the misrepresentation to many of the in favors, I request a vote against by the City Council. By voting no, I believe a public hearing for all voters truly impacted would be held to disclose all facts and have an accurately informed vote. If you read some of the signed petitions received by Mr. Flanagan, they state Charlie Fines will be serving beer and wine, as he has told us in a meeting I graciously held at my home at his request, and yet he has applied for a full liquor license. In a newspaper article published last week in the Scottsdale Republic, the reporter says Charlie Fines intends to create a comfortable rustic vibe and a patio and garden to encourage lingering. So my home that I have lived in for 12 years will now have a party house and a bar as a neighbor that can be open from 7 a.m. until whenever. In addition, Mr. Flanagan told us he will have 22 parking spaces and his application states 18. With employees as well as patrons, this will be a difficult situation at best. At the meeting at my home, he stated he will not be able to park at the residential complex being built in the neighborhood, and he will be talking with other businesses to see if he can use their spaces. He now states his overflow will park at the residential apartment complex being built, which I do not believe is accurate. I have concerns for our children now being exposed to the alcohol use along with increased traffic that will come through our neighborhood from the restaurant patrons. As stated previously, when meeting with Mr. Flanagan, we agreed to look into closing off the entrance to our neighborhood by making it a cul-de-sac and/or other alternative solutions to our concerns. We have been unable to find an alternative solution to date. Perhaps the council can order a traffic study showing the impact of the increased traffic due to both the restaurant and the apartment development that will be required to turn right when leaving their properties. This will cause the traffic from these establishments to use my street, Calais Felice, as a pass-through thoroughfare to turn left onto 44th Street. The combination of increased traffic and alcohol use can be deadly. I ask that you be prepared to vote on this. I ask that as you prepare to vote on this matter, you take into consideration whether or not you would like an establishment with liquor and increased traffic in your neighborhood where you are raising your children. The promises made previously when commercial licenses were applied for were not kept. We failed to get them in writing and therefore have no enforcement. I ask the City Council to please consider the impact to the neighborhood prior to issuing a liquor license. We ask that consideration be given to us, the residents of the community. Thank you for your time and consideration for this request to not allow alcohol to be served in our residential neighborhood. Again, I have sent to each council member a copy of the signed petition against, as well as the plot map of the affected area with a spreadsheet that shows the locations of all signatures, both in favor and against. I have additional copies if needed. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Lawson. Any questions for Ms. Lawson? Are there any other cards on this item? Noting that Councilman DeCiccio has a potential conflict on this item, do we have a motion from another member of this council?
Mayor.
Approve item.
Councilman Nowakowski.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 29, noting the applicant must resolve any pending City of Phoenix building and zoning requirements and to complete the City of Phoenix code and ordinance prior to beginning operations.
All right, we have a motion on the item. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any additional comments by members of this council? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? One no. So the item passes with one no vote. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval item, request approval to change the order of business to move item 75.
Second.
Front of the line.
We have a motion to amend the rules to allow for item 75 to move forward. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. So item number 75, this is a item on our planning and zoning agenda. I think Councilman Gates asked that the item be moved up because there are numerous residents here who would like to opportunity to provide testimony and then get back to their lives. So can we get a staff report and then we'll take any cards.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This is a request for a rezoning for a 2.97 acre site from S1 to R16 to allow single-family residential development. The parcel is located approximately 180 feet west of the northwest corner of 18th Street and Winchcombe Drive. You see on the aerial map here the project site in red. The Paradise Valley Village Planning Committee recommended approval of the request on February 2nd by a vote of 11-2. The Planning Commission voted to approve the request by a vote of 7-0 on February 10th. Since that Planning Commission vote, Councilman Gates has held a community meeting and the applicant has revised the site plan to reduce the lots from 15 to 12, which is shown here, and then limit the building height to 22 feet single story for lots 1, 2, and 3, along with the cul-de-sac and increased rear yard setbacks for lots 1 through 3 and 6 through 12. Staff recommends approval per the memo from me dated
Mayor?
February 17th. And with that, I'd be happy to
Gates,
please.
Yeah, I apologize for. Okay, there we go. That's the right one. Thank you.
Sorry.
Any more?
And I'm happy to answer any questions, Mayor.
Are there any questions for Mr. Stevenson? All right. Councilman Dush put a motion on the floor. You want to hear the cards first?
Let's hear from the cards first.
Benjamin Graff, who's in favor of the proposed item. You just come forward and provide testimony. Good to see you. Followed by Mr. Edward Lewis.
Mayor, members of the council. I have no formal presentation today other than my statement that our work with the neighbors, planning staff, and Councilman Gates' office has been an excellent experience. I appreciate the compromise brokered by the councilman. I appreciate the neighbors' input. And our client and myself and our firm believe that this truly is a excellent plan, excellent infill development, and we really thank the city for their time in evaluating the best options for the city of Phoenix.
Thank you very much. Edward Lewis, do you provide testimony on this item? You're indicated in favor of the item as well.
My name is Edward Lewis, and I live at 1731 East Gilding Drive. My property abuts this property to the north, and I just want to thank everyone who made this happen, the change. The neighbors were not happy with the initial plan, but they did make a change, and I want to especially thank Councilman Gates for his work and involved in this, and this thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis. Councilman Gates, do you have a motion?
Yes, I do, Mayor. Motion to approve per the memo from Alan Stevenson dated February 17th, 2015, and adopt the related ordinance.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any additional comments by members of this council?
Yes, Mayor, I just want to thank everyone in the community. We have several of them here. I really appreciate their willingness to work on this with our office, with the city, with Mr. Graff. Thank you, Mr. Graff, for your involvement and your the work of your client to come to a compromise position on this. This is a great area in our city, a wonderful neighborhood, and I really feel like this is a project that everyone can be proud of. Obviously, there's several stipulations, and we will make sure that, and I have no reason to question that, the developer here will comply with all those stipulations. So again, thanks to everyone in the community for all their involvement.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Any additional comments? Congratulations to you for doing such a diligent job working out a good compromise. Roll call.
DeCiccio? Yes. Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski?
Yes.
Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Yes. Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Actually, Mayor, I would like to make this motion.
Please.
It's the rezoning in my district.
Thank you.
And I will tell you the owners of this property have made special accommodations for parking, and they are promising to be a good neighbor, and so I would like to move approval.
So we move approval of item number 30. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Item passes unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, move approve item 31.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any cards? Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approve item 32.
Second?
Any cards in this item? Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Item 33, Vice Mayor.
Move approve item 33.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Next item is 44th Indian School. Who wants to make a motion on 44th Indian School?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio?
Yes.
Gallego? Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski?
Yes.
Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Item 35.
Move approve item 35.
Second.
Second?
Motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio?
Yes.
Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Move approval of item 36.
Motion is second on 36. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Now we're on the ordinances and resolutions. City Clerk, are we ready for ordinance and resolutions? Would you please read the items that are being held for comment cards?
I move approval items 37 through 64, being ordinances numbered S-41454 through S-41477, and resolutions 21295 through 21298 be adopted, except items, looks like 37 in its entirety, 37C, 37AB, 37AC, 37AD, 42, 46, 55, and noting that items 56 and 61 are as corrected. And I'm also holding out item 41 as a special request. You're welcome. All right. All right. So that, I believe, is the entire motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any cards on those items? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Full item.
You want Councilman Williams? This is 37C is next, I believe. Councilman Williams, do you want to move forward with item number 30?
Well, I think we held the whole item.
I'm sorry.
So you want to move all of item 37 except?
Want me to move forward with all of item 37 except?
Except C, AB, AC, and AD.
All right. So that is the motion. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Pat Vint, up to 2 minutes on item 37, payment ordinance.
Yes, I am Pat Bent, and this item is almost always item 37. It takes in the full alphabet and a half of it again. And we're talking about $1,883,659.57. And the last time I brought this up, Bill Gates made an effort to talk to somebody at the airport about putting portable or permanent radios in cars, and he got somebody that wanted to do what they said. He said, okay. So anyway, something's going to have to be done about dividing these things up. There's no way that any of you, I could pick out any one of them, and you'd have no idea what it's all about. Take F, for example. The CEM Corporation, for the purpose of a microwave moisture analyzer, needed to replace a unit that no longer is functional. $10,745. Who would know that it couldn't be repaired? You know, it's not a throwaway country anymore. You buy a radio, television, or a car, and if it breaks down, you just throw it away and buy a new one. This stuff could be repaired. Take another one, R, Route Smart Technologies, for payment of a software subscription renewal through December 31, 2015. For Priority Software, $16,391. I challenge any of you to have any idea what that's all about. You didn't even look at it. Take the last one, AD, the Los Alamos Condominium Association, for the payment of condominium judgment dated January 14th. The Phoenix versus Los Alamos Condominium Association in Arizona. That's $208,000. I challenge any of you. You have no idea what it's all about.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint. Ms. Barker, you had testimony on 37 AB, AC, and AD. You want to provide that testimony now?
Okay.
scoot you out of your way. Mayor and Council, citizen in District 7, and I'm on 3 items that had court orders. One of them specifies its light rail acquisition. I presume the other 2 because they're Broadway Road projects. This is about 1/5 of the monies that we're expending on item 37. And we're buying this light rail money here. We had a proposal by a committee that comes up with $30 billion up to year 2050, basically, a mayor's committee that is supposed to be designing roads for transit and like that. I'm a transit user, but what's happening, I think that we've gone ahead of the planning efforts, is I happen to have, and I'll let you have this copy, or not this one, but you can have a copy of this. And I've contacted Maricopa County, and I got this from actually the environmental. This is signed by, remember Zara Dabolsky? For the cities, this was, MAG. And it has to do with the working relationship that everybody, ADOT, the county, the cities, and like this are supposed to be working. It's over 23 years old, unless it's never been amended, and it specifically says that ADOT is supposed to be helping the development of public transit systems with local government. There wasn't anybody over at ADOT to develop this transit plan, and MAG has specific, and they tell us we have nothing to do with the city of Phoenix and getting them to do anything, when the citizens go over there. And what I'm saying is people aren't doing their job. This has to be looked at. We need current signing on this, Mayor. We need to get this together. Protect the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barker. There are no further comments. Comment cards. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item 37C. Do we have a motion on 37C?
Move approval, Mayor.
We have a motion. Do we have a second on 37C?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Councilor Nowakowski, did you have comments on 37C, American Association of Airport Executives membership dues?
Yes, Mayor. I was just wondering if they have a stand on the FAA issue that we're having here in the city of Phoenix, and if they are working along with our federal lobbyists to coordinate that effort, and if they're working with other cities throughout the United States that's going through the same situation that we find ourselves in the city of Phoenix. And those are some questions that I'd like to
Mr. City Manager, do we have professional staff here to answer that question?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Aviation Director Tammy Fisher can address whether or not the AAAE group has a stand on the issues mentioned by Councilman Nowakowski, specifically related to the FAA flight issues.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Councilman Nowakowski. Yes, our membership in the American Association of Airport Executive is, and this particular Airport Legislative Alliance Federal Affairs membership is specifically for supporting airports at the federal level and coordinating with federal agencies such as the FAA, along with TSA and the Department of Homeland Security. So this is an access to Washington, D.C. and the FAA to help us manage issues that impact airports such as flight path changes.
I think the specific question was, have they taken a position on the issue that we're facing here in Phoenix relative to NextGen and the departure procedure, and not only Phoenix Sky Harbor, but other airports that are facing a similar dilemma?
Mayor, Councilman Nowakowski, they have not taken a specific position related to Phoenix, but they are representing airports in resolving this issue when there is a conflict. So I think, generally speaking, the industry is supportive of NextGen and the improvement of the nation's airspace system, not necessarily supportive of the process in which it was implemented for Phoenix. And Phoenix was an exception. our research has indicated that no other city had even less significant flight path changes implemented without notification to the public. So to answer your question short, no, they have not taken a specific position, but they are in a position to support airports and, if necessary, would do that.
All right, additional questions, Councilman, please.
So a follow-up question is, so what do we receive from this membership if right now the city of Phoenix is protesting the flight path and the way it was actually put upon us, and through this membership, can we actually advocate or have them advocate on our behalf and actually work with other cities to create a coalition for those individuals or those cities that have been affected by these flight paths?
Yeah. Mayor, Councilman Nowakowski, the advantage of this membership with American Association of Airport Executives would be to advocate for the city of Phoenix and Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport in this case, but also to help push for policy reform at the federal level that would prevent this from happening in the future for Sky Harbor, as well as impacts to other airports, and push for legislative action that would make the FAA more accountable and put more requirements on them to notify the public or work with the airports before changes such as the flight path changes in Phoenix could occur.
Mayor, Councilman Nowakowski, so this is exactly the reason why you would be part of a group like this, and staff will be going to this group and advocating our position to bring the resources of this group to bear on that as well.
Mayor and Councilman Nowakowski, if I might also add, once an airport becomes a federal affairs member within the American AAAE, we also receive airport alerts, hearing reports, security policy alerts, security policy notices. So anytime there's action at the federal level related to airports in general, we're notified. So if there was some other action, all of airport staff would be getting these notifications.
I have a question.
Please, Councilman Nowakowski? Okay, Councilman Pastor, Councilwoman?
So since being part of this association, then how would they support Phoenix right now? I mean, right now we're in the middle of this situation, and I want to know how the American Association of Airport Executives have been contacted in order to support us in this battle.
Councilwoman Pastor, Mayor Stanton, the way that AAA would support us in this case would be to push for change and also legislative reform to prevent this from happening.
So then are they currently writing legislation? What are they doing with us in order to have change happen?
Councilwoman Pastor, Mayor Stanton, if Phoenix Sky Harbor, along with other airports in the country, were to propose legislative action to change federal policy on flight path changes and how they are changed, and want to push that forward, AAAE, as well as Airports Council International and U.S. Travel Association, would be in a position to support Sky Harbor along with other airports to push for that change.
Councilwoman?
So have we asked them?
We have not asked them for a specific policy change yet. We have focused on specific changes related to Phoenix, returning to the former flight paths at the direction of City Council, but we could certainly make that request if the City Council would like to send us in that direction.
I don't want to speak for any of the council members. I think we have sent you in that direction. So maybe we can continue this item and have some more serious conversation about what the requests are going to be from this council so that as we pay our dues, and I hope we do, but as we pay our dues, what expectation there would be from this council to continue membership in the organization. So maybe, can we get a motion to continue?
Can I?
Please, Vice Mayor, you may first do that.
And I can make a motion to continue too. So I will say we're involved. It seems like every week we get requests for up to $100,000 or more for airport organizations. I'm a little surprised that keeping us posted on what the FAA is going to do hasn't been involved in some of these other organizations. I guess another membership doesn't give me comfort that my constituents aren't going to hear more planes going over their houses. We seem caught off guard, frankly, as an airport, as a city, by what's gone on. I found that extremely frustrating at the time, and it's still ongoing, still getting complaints. So this may have some merit, but I voted against items like this in the past. They're very expensive, and to, I guess, a couple of my colleagues' points, I'm not really sure what we get out of it in terms of practical, actual results. So we can continue this today. I'll make the motion to continue, but we'll probably wind up voting against it myself overall because I just haven't seen the impact from the other items that have passed over my objection in the past.
Second.
All right, so a motion to continue this item until the next agenda, give the opportunity for aviation staff to work with the council, and so we can make maybe a better understanding what the specific request would be of this organization, how we can help. I think that those meetings are going to be very, very important. So we have a motion to continue. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item is item number 37. What's next, Vice? Is it AD?
We're going to do A, B, and AC together. So move approval items A, B, and AC.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second.
AD and what?
A, B, and AC.
Did we have cards on those items, or is it?
I think it was, I'm sorry, Diane Barker. Remember, she spoke on 3 of them at once.
All right, have we done these or not? I apologize. We took that, what we did. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio, Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Mayor Stanton.
Yes. 37 AD. Do we have a motion on AD?
I would move approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any cards on AD?
I pulled it.
Any comments by members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes 8-1. Next item, Vice Mayor.
41? 42.
41.
I just
think
want to
someone
make
had
some
41.
comments
Councilman Williams wants to make some comments.
on 42.
41, I think we're going to do first. We pulled it. Yeah.
41, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Move approval item 41.
Second.
We have a motion on 41. We have a second. Pat Vint, you have comments on item number 41, followed by Mr. John Rusnick. This is dealing with amend contract with GPEC for international marketing services.
Yes, I am Pat Vint. If you read this, this is a disaster again, but then that's natural down here. You won't deal with citizens like us that pay all your wages, pay all the expenses, and now you're going to deal with Canada, Mexico, the UK, Germany, Netherlands, and Japan. And not one of you, unless they were going to pay your way over to all of these countries so you can talk to them, or pay their way over here. You know, it just gets to be a broken record. You think I'm coming down here to be nasty. I would like to be able to come down and be nice, but you just won't allow it. You just won't allow it. You had to go through a couple of those items on 37. You should have went through every one of them. But I guess as I listened, you approved them anyway, so it looked like you did something. This is a disaster. The other thing coming up, and this is part of this disaster, the past 2 city managers are ripping us off. And the one that you got now, or that we got now, you're giving them another raise, all kinds of benefits.
All right, Pat, you got to stay
but
on the GPEC.
I'll get back to this.
All right. Got to veer back.
Because if I don't bring it up, you forget about it. But how do you justify that you're going to deal with Canada, Mexico, UK, Germany, Netherlands, and Japan, and you won't even control our city managers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint. Mr. John Rusnick is the next speaker. Mr. Rusnick, good to see you.
My name is John Rusnick, and I had a little concern on this 41, Greater Phoenix Economic Council, controller to disperse funds amounting to exceed $35,000. Well, it seems like we're going to have to send people to Washington, D.C. to confer and get the international media to visit Phoenix and spend all that money to try to bring this here. It's going to take years probably. So it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to get people to come to Phoenix, as we've been noted in the paper and on the news as the worst run city in the United States. So I think this is going to be a pretty tough sale to spend this money and send people to D.C. If they want to come here, they should come here on their own to try to find a better place to work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rusnick. So we have a motion in favor of 41, or do we have a motion? Yep, motion in favor. A second. Roll call.
DeCiccio?
Yes.
Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski?
Mayor, I'm a yes, but I just want to have a comment.
Please.
That we should look at our sister cities' opportunities in these countries also in the near future.
Thank you.
Pastor? Valenzuela?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Yes. Mayor Stanton?
Yeah, yes, that item passes unanimously. Councilwoman Pastor did end up voting on the item, so 9-0. Next item is item number 42. 42 is an item regarding the purchase of professional work uniforms. My understanding is that there has been a protest on this proposed.
I don't think it's on this. I think I am asked for comments because this is over $3 million, and that is there a protest on this? I don't think so. Oh, there is?
Yeah,
okay.
There was a protest, but it's
Okay.
been handled by the manager's office.
Okay, so I apologize for that. That was my fault. Councilman Williams, you had comments on item number 42.
Yes, because I would like to have Councilman Gates' committee, his efficiency committee, see if all of those uniforms in all those different areas are still necessary, and if we have the proper clothing, what's necessary, and is there a lesser way to provide it? But I will move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. City Manager, if this motion is successful, would the Efficiency and Innovation Subcommittee have the opportunity to look at that and make appropriate changes or recommendations to you, obviously, to make those appropriate changes? This wouldn't lock us in, if you will.
Mayor, that's correct. Assuming that the chair of the committee would schedule that for the agenda, we would be able to bring this for further review. This is a 5-year contract, so we'd be able to do that before we got too far into the contract, and if any changes were necessary, we could bring those amendments forward. But the motion to move forward allows us to keep providing uniforms for our employees while we do that work.
So we have a motion and a second. I was briefed that there might be a bit of protest on it. That's why I was operating that assumption. That was my mistake. We do have Daniel Seligman from Arizona Uniform Apparel, who's in favor of the item. Mr. Seligman, in light of the motion by Councilman Williams, did you still wish to provide testimony or just note your support for the record? Yes, do you want to comment on that? Please come forward to the microphone and provide your testimony. So the motion is in favor of the proposed item, but then also to ask Councilman Gates and his subcommittee to look at whether for all the uniforms that are possibly proposed, whether we need all the need all those uniforms, in the city of Phoenix, or can we operate in a more efficient way, which is a very common approach by the city? You have comments on that idea, please.
Well, I'm prepared to make a statement in regards to that right now because I wasn't aware of this reassessment of the need of uniforms and where there could be some savings made. I do know that the way the procurement department did put out this bid was a very fair and transparent invitation for bid. They asked for specific manufactured suggested retail prices with a percentage discount off of that. There were very deep discounts were given by the bidders. We were one of the recommended awardees. I believe that the city still needs to have uniforms, and I think it's very important that the public servants of the city have well represented to the city in the way they look and the way they perform their duties. So I'm not really prepared to go any further in regards to that, but I was more prepared to address the protests and the hearing that was by the third party and the appeal process that it's gone through. And this has been going on for about since February of last year, June of last year. So we've gone through a laborious process to present a bid, a competitive bid, a responsible bid. So I'm a little bit discouraged that this is going to have to go again. I don't really think that's fair, but if that's something that the council and Mr. Mayor you think is worthwhile doing, I don't know what's going to happen in the interim, if the bid will be approved as it is now and then possibly reassessed at that time, where you might have some savings or some looking at some alternate ways of providing uniforms to the employees of the city of Phoenix.
All right, excellent. I think the point is that this is successful. We're certainly going to need to buy some civilian uniforms. We're going to buy, as soon as it's successful, we're going to buy from you. I think the suggestion is that bigger picture in the city, we don't have to buy as many uniforms, or we don't have to have every position that currently has uniform to continue to have uniform. We wanted to go through the form of whether or not that was included in the motion. We always reserve the right to do that.
I understand, and our position too is to partner with the city and give the best possible. Look for the best possible angles and ways to save the city money, either through the bid process or RFQs or even RFPs if necessary.
I think that's why you were the recommended company by our by city management.
All right,
we have
thank you very
another
much.
card on this item. Mr. Rusnick, did you provide testimony on purchase of service professional work uniforms?
Yes, I want to talk on 42 on the amount of money that we're going to spend to clothe our employees. Most companies, I think, buy their uniforms in bulk, and then the employees buy them at the city's cost, and by doing that, they save. I'm not familiar with any companies that furnish these uniforms 100%. It seems like if the city bought uniforms in bulk and then sold them at the city's cost, that would save a lot of money, unless maybe their salary is not large enough to buy their own clothes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rusnick. So we have a motion by Councilman Williams. We have a second. Any additional comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Mayor Stanton?
Yes, item passes 8-1. Next item, Vice Mayor? Is 46? We have a motion in favor of 46. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any cards on item number 46? Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela? Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Mayor Stanton?
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor?
Move approval item 55.
Second.
We have a motion and second on item 55. Mr. Clark, Leonard Clark, item 55, up to 2 minutes of testimony.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. My name is Leonard Clark, resident and native of Phoenix. I just want to say that I strongly support this. I think that it reflects on a society on how it treats some of its most vulnerable people. And these HOPWA funds, the acronym being for Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS and people that are very sick that need help, I think that that is a good thing to do, and it reflects good on the city of Phoenix, contrary to what some might say that government shouldn't be involved with the people, but the government is the people, so we should be helping people that are vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. Motion is second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Waring. Stanton.
Yes. Item number 56. Do we have a motion?
56.
No.
Move approval item 56.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Clark, did you provide testimony on item number 56?
Thank you, Mayor and Council members. My name is Leonard Clark, and I'm a resident of Phoenix, and I thank you for your patience. I know I just spoke, but this is an effort I think that's near and dear to your hearts, mine, and many of our fellow residents of Phoenix about what is going to happen to the people who are homeless in our city of Phoenix. And of course, Phoenix being the largest city here in the state of Arizona and sixth largest in the country, we also are a role model for other cities watching us. And I just want to thank you, and also the mayor's efforts, and also Councilman DeCiccio, Nowakowski, Thelduenza, all of you, because I know all of you do charitable work and you go out and help people. But I'm cautiously supporting this only because it looks like the overflow shelter is going to stay open, and the Arizona Republic did a good article explaining that. I had been concerned because I thought that they were just going to shut down everything. Now, people say we're only encouraging the homeless by helping them, but you know what? That's unrealistic. I think Mr. Jonathan Turley had it right. A legal scholar, constitutional scholar, the society that we live in, it's going to reflect on us how we treat our most vulnerable people, and they're going to be with us. So I'm glad to see that it's out in the open now, this work with the county, because I would hear about the county doing this, and then we were doing this, and I think it's good when you work together. I think, even if you come up and you're not doing exactly what we want, I applaud you for at least showing humanity and trying to help our homeless. And that's why I kind of give you a hard time sometimes, because they are the most vulnerable and we have to stand up for them, even if we don't like to see them sometimes, if we want them to be hidden from view. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. If we adopt this ordinance, it is consistent with my personal philosophy, and I think the philosophy of this council and this city, which is we are trying to end homelessness. We are not trying to manage homelessness. We are trying to break the cycle of homelessness and get people permanent supportive housing, and that's what this policy supports. So any other comments on item 56?
Can I change my motion? It's item 56 as corrected. Move approval items 56 as corrected. I left that off last time, sorry.
Thank you very much. The motion is 56 as corrected. We have a motion, we have a second. Any additional comments? Roll call. Hopefully, Councilman Gates,
Sorry,
please.
Mayor, I just wanted to echo your comments, Mayor. Thanks for your leadership on homelessness. I also want to thank Mo Gallego with Human Services Department here at the city, who's done a great job on this. He's been working very closely with his counterpart at the county and with Michael Traylor at the Arizona Department of Housing. So once again, this is another great team effort and partnership, and I just want to thank everyone involved in it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item number 61. Do we have a motion on item number 61?
Move approval item 61 as corrected.
Second.
Motion as corrected and a second. This is HUD Rental Assistant Demonstration Program Conversion. Greta Rogers, you had comments on item number 61. Please come forward.
Mayor and Council and members in attendance. I'm Greta Rogers. This is an item with which in the past I've had close experience as a member of the Neighborhood and Housing Commission for 7 years. The thing, I'm not opposed to this, but paragraph 1 Dollars available not stated. Sell up to 160 houses. Paragraph 2, subject to congressional approval. That's unreliable, as we know. No dollars specified for rental assistance development program. And the first we're selling, and the next we're renting. What are we doing? Renting or selling? They're not the same. There's no time frame for executing this program. It's being introduced by HUD because Congress recalcitrantly in the past on funding for repair and capital needs has put it in the hands of HUD and the cities. We aren't responsible for this, as it pretty well states. This is federal dollars. But how much? We don't know. Time frame for execution and completion of goal? We don't know. This is a pig in a poke. And it's incumbent upon you, as the representatives of the citizens of this city, to communicate to HUD, the director of HUD, and say, give us your plan. We want the plan. We want to do this, but we need a plan. It's only fair to the neighborhoods who are affected. The district that is most affected is 4, with a count of 48 today. Next is 7 with 40. Next is 5 with 21. And 4th is 8 with 19. And the rest of them are scattered around. 6 has 1. As described herein, this is an empty bag of critical information. It's a big federal pig in a poke. And the City of Phoenix and Neighborhood Services, be buyer beware. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rogers. Ms. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Deputy City Manager Deanna Jonovich and Housing Director Carl Matzinger have been working on this program and can answer those questions.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. The Rental Assistance Demonstration Program from HUD, what it allows you to do is to convert public housing into more of a Section 8 based program. So they're allowing you to convert from an operating subsidy and capital fund program, which we know we've talked to council about, has continued to be underfunded to the tune of 89% from a proration perspective for operating and about a 40% reduction in capital funds. So this allows us to lock into a fixed amount from HUD to be able to continue to provide public housing. The other thing it does, and the intent is that it provides that subsidy which allows you to get private financing to be able to redevelop and modernize your public housing. So that is the program that we are looking at to be able to do, and we're looking at it in our Scattered Sites program because it is our most expensive public housing that we have. So we're looking to convert those units by moving those into existing affordable housing and then be able to dispose of the scattered site houses, which are in the most need of repair and the highest cost to maintain.
All right, thank you very much. Any comments or questions by this council?
Mayor?
Councilman Williams.
This was explained to me earlier by staff, and one of the questions I asked one was, is this 100% city doing the sales, or do you work with real estate people? And I understand that you do work with realtor experts. Is that correct?
Mayor, Councilwoman Williams, we have used both methods, which means we're allowed to be able to have realtors assist us in a disposal of the property. But we also have some in which the public can enter into direct discussions with staff who would work with as part of the normal disposition process. So we've used both methods.
And then I also requested periodic updates on how many properties were sold and the amount they were sold for and the total amount that you hope to get as all the properties are sold.
Mayor, Councilwoman Williams, that is correct. We understand that you request that update, and that would be the intent for us to make sure that not only this council but our subcommittee was kept briefed on the process as we go through, because this is a long process for HUD to be able to approve it and a long process for us to be able to dispose of these houses.
Thank you very much. Additional comments or questions by this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Williams.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Yes, I move approvals items 68, 70, 71, 72, and 73.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any cards on that item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Councilman Williams, you have a motion on item number 65.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 65. Any cards on 65?
Oh.
Any comments by members of this council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. Item 65?
Yes, there was at least one no. Was there two more than? No. Two no's. So we have two no's, so it's 6-2. Item number 66, Councilman.
Can we have a do-over on, Pat Vint had a card on 71, and I inadvertently included it in my previous motion.
I will take Mr. Vint's testimony now, and then after his testimony, if anyone would like to reconsider, they can do so. Pat Vint, do you have comments on item number 71? No. So he did it as part of a omnibus motion. I want you the opportunity to provide testimony, and if anybody wants to reconsider at that time, they can.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Vint, up to 2 minutes.
See, the problem is here, you don't know how to keep things in order. I would have been ready to speak if you'd have had it in damn order, but you don't know how to do that either. I don't know who it is. I don't.
Mr. Vint, the mistake was ours, not yours. We apologize.
What the hell good does that do? Look how much time you're taking up. So you jumped right over. Oh, I know why you did that. Do you know why you did that? 69 is what you're giving the new city manager here, or the acting, or maybe acting, or trying to be a city manager. So you want me to speak on what?
The card that I have for you is 71, but if you actually prefer to speak on 69, go right ahead.
No, I didn't turn in a card for 69.
Oh, you do have one. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, yes,
so 71 is the item we're talking about now.
69 and 71, but let's put them in order somehow so the citizens know what the hell's happening. Now, why don't we take 69? Do you want to do that? You still got 66.
If you want to provide testimony on 69, you can, but the card that I'm responding to was 71. Right. We had acted on that item as part of an omnibus. We realized later that you had submitted a card, so I was asking you to provide testimony, and then I was going to see if anybody wanted to reconsider the item based upon your testimony.
Well, let's put 71 up there, and I'll talk about that. Let's get this damn place in order, okay? I got lots of businesses that you don't even have any idea about. If I run my businesses this way, I'd have been bankrupt years ago, and I'm not. I work hours and hours, 71.
This is on-call consulting services contract amendment. Item 71, correct.
So how much time do I have?
You have about, if you were to take the maximum 2 minutes, and you are not obligated to do so, but if you were to take the maximum 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
I got 30 seconds left?
That is correct. All right. Mr. Vint, do you have any testimony on item number 71?
It did the same thing. You wouldn't have listened anyway. You know, you wonder sometimes how far a person's system can handle. You're not going to let me tell you what you did about who you killed at the city of Phoenix either, are you?
Mr. Vint,
you know damn good and well who you
during
did.
citizen comment, you can provide any testimony on any subject. During the regular meeting, you can provide testimony at the item at hand. I know you have submitted a card on 69, so I think you're going to have an opportunity to provide additional testimony in just a moment. Okay, Vice Mayor, what's the next item?
I think Mr. Nowakowski has a motion.
66 is the next item. Councilman Nowakowski.
Mayor, I'd like to continue this item until March 25th.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second to continue the proposed RFP for West Fillmore Development. Any comments on item 66? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I apologize. Ms. Barker, you can provide up to 2 minutes testimony, but only on the issue of a continuance, not on the underlying item, because that is the motion at hand.
Oh, okay, so you're going to, this is a property, okay, that is near and dear to my heart. And I walk down there and I do my cleanup down there.
Thank you.
And I want to hear that you will continue it because it's very important.
So the motion is to continue the item. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item is item 69. Is that correct, Vice Mayor?
Item 67.
67.
Move approval item 67.
We have a motion on item number 67. This is smoking in Phoenix public housing, an item that was also part of the Assisted Housing Governing Board agenda earlier. Ms. Barker, did you provide testimony on item number 67, smoking in Phoenix public housing?
I would like to. Thank you, Mayor and Council. You know, this is an issue that we should have handled a long time ago. I know the present administration didn't have authority over it at that time. But in 2009, the U.S. Department of HUD urged that this was a priority in public housing. And so, yes, we need to stop the smoking in public housing. There are children in there, and they're impacted. That's what I'm fighting for, you know, with this lawsuit about the particulates. We need to have cleaner air in this area. We can't be doing it to the children. We do seriously need to do it for the children. And I want to expand this in your, if you should vote on this today, which I hope so, positive, public information campaign. It goes on to other areas. We need to hear those requests that are at the platform of the light rail. I don't hear those anymore, no smoking. We need to extend it to bus stops. There are children there that need to have the seat and the security. And unfortunately, we have people in the general public and citizenry that are using these facilities and they don't give a damn about other people and they sit and smoke. And I've had to ask them if, you know, please don't do that. A lot of them don't like it, but they usually do. I've seen them smoke on light rail. It's out of hand. I've seen them smoke, and I approach them and ask them, and typically they stop doing it, but we don't have the people in government supporting even what I and other people are trying to do is to do the right thing. So please do this and do more.
Thank you very much. Any, Mr. Clark, did you provide testimony on 67? Thank you very much. Also in favor of the item is Talia Sands, I hope I pronounced that correctly, from the Arizona Smoke-Free Living Coalition. Available to speak if requested. Did you wish to provide testimony or you just want to show support for the item? Also, Brian Hamel is in favor of the item, as well as Lori Thomas. So we have a motion in favor of 67. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. Next item, Councilwoman Williams.
I would move item 66.
69.
69, I mean.
All right, we have a motion in favor of 69. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. We have two cards on the item, Dee Dee Barker and Pat Vint. I just want to make sure it's noted that if supported by this council, this doesn't provide any substantive changes to the city manager contract. We had our attorneys review the contract to make technical changes. So any of the changes that we voted on today are only of a textual nature. There are no substantive changes. I think there was just some language in there that had been in there for a long period of time that we realized could have been improved, and we wanted to put it in better plain language. Dee Dee Barker, do you provide testimony on 69?
Mayor and Council, I did go to the clerk's office and I read the city manager's contract in whole. And I want to thank Dick up there also that helps me get the information. I support this. I think that in regards to our city manager's contract, you try to do the right thing from the past administration. And the only thing, and I mentioned Ed Zerker, he's pretty accessible if he has to ride the elevator with you. But I said, hey, you're getting a car? He says, no, he gets some type of allowance. I says, well, do you do multimodal? You know, that's in the trip reduction plan and everything. And he said he couldn't do it because he has to drive when he's down here sometimes. I said, well, gee, isn't there a company car? Most businesses have it so that you can, it should have like a city car available so that you can plan and be part of the whole, not the problem, the solution to be part of multimodal. That's the regional plan. That's what we want, that you will use many modes. It's good for your health and it's good for our health. So please consider that, and you can get on that 19 bus, or you can get over there on Thomas and take the light rail, or you can use the bicycle. There's many ways to get around. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vint, did you provide testimony on item number 69? The item is titled "Enter an Agreement with City Manager." I guess it probably should be said technical changes to the agreement, but it's not a new agreement. It's just technical changes. Mr. Vint.
Yes, I am Pat Vint again, and like I said, and all of you should know, I've been in business here since 1956, running businesses, managing them, lots of employees. And you'd think here that we have a city of 1,600,000, or about that area, is probably shrinking. It should, because there's no management here, but it's a disaster. All the, what does it say here, fringe benefits. How many more fringe benefits do you need when you're making over 300,000, not doing anything? You should have fired most of the department heads for insubordination, not the chief of police. You never ran a business in your life. You came in here on vacation, decided you liked the weather and you liked the hiking. So Frank Fairbanks and David Cavazos seen a perfect example of somebody that'll do what we tell him even after we're gone. And you're doing exactly that. You're doing exactly that. Why don't you make our city employees that you're supposed to manage do their job? Now, I've told you, and you know many times, what they've done to my property, my neighborhood. We're trying to get the streets department to trim trees. They won't do it. Anywhere you drive in the city of Phoenix, high-profile motorhomes like mine and 18-wheelers that are 13'6" high, trimming the damn trees. Most of them you don't have to pay. They belong to private owners. Just give them a notice. If they don't trim them, then the city will trim them and put a lien on their property.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint. Thank you for your testimony. We'll now be voting on item number 69. Councilman Gates has comments on 69.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to reiterate what you had said, Mayor, this is not, we're not voting on the full contract or anything like that. It simply makes a revision to 2, which deals with the term, and specifically before the contract said that the city manager's salary must be adjusted every year, and now it simply says, clarifies, which is what the practice was, that the council will review and determine whether any adjustment would be appropriate. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time to reviewing the contract in detail and not charging us a cent. Thank you very much, Councilman Gates. All right, we have a motion in favor. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Mayor, real quick.
Councilman Nowakowski, I apologize.
You know, Mayor, I just want to really thank yourself and my colleagues for taking the time and looking over the contract and making sure that every single word is correct. And we made some changes, and it's because we really care. We really care about making sure we're the best stewards possible when it comes to our tax dollars. So I just once again really want to thank Councilmember Gates for taking the time and fine-tuning what we really have in writings, and sometimes we just need to update stuff. So thank you once again, and thank you, Mayor, for the leadership of having us all look at the contract and fine-tuning it.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Councilman Valenzuela, please.
I'm in support of this item, but I want to be very clear. This is not reflective of the performance of our city manager. I fully support our city manager. I'm very proud of where we are. Where we are in this budget process, even moving into the next budget hearings. I think we certainly have the right person in place. I'm glad that we have Ed Zerker, who was, interested in taking this job. He is not someone that we just, stumbled across. Unfortunately, this is a person who who I think is the finest city manager in the state, and there's no one that we'd rather have, that I'd rather have. In fact, we all voted and agreed when we had a national recruitment to solidify this person in this position. So I do support this. I don't want this to be seen as anything more than what it is. This is just doing our diligence and having responsibility to the people of Phoenix and the contracts that are in place, but we certainly have the right person in place in Mr. Zerker, and I want to thank you, Ed, for all that you do.
Other comments by members of the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Oh.
We have one no vote. Passes on 8-1 vote.
But I like you too, Ed.
All right. Next item on the agenda is we're going to move to our planning and zoning matters. Item number 74 is proposed rezoning at 23rd and Northern Avenues. What district is that? The 5? I apologize. That's in Councilman Valenzuela's district. I'm going to, according to my agenda, we have going to ask for a staff presentation, and then after staff presentation, I will open the public hearing, see if there's any public comments on item 74, and then I'll close the public hearing, and then outside of the public or the public hearing, ask to see if there's a motion. Is that correct?
Mayor, that is correct.
Mr. Stevenson, you have a short presentation on item number 74.
Mayor, members of council, this is a request to rezone 4.44 acres from CO R3 and R3 special permit to R3A to allow a multifamily residential development for a senior living facility. It is approximately 200 feet east of the southeast corner of 23rd Avenue and Northern. The Alhambra Village Planning Committee voted to approve it 14-0. The Planning Commission also voted to approve it 7-0. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Stevenson? All right, with that, I'm going to now open the public hearing on item number 74. Are there any cards on item number 74? Is anyone in the audience here wish to speak on item number 74, proposed rezoning for a senior housing facility at 23rd Avenue and Northern? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Valenzuela, would you like to make a motion? We have a motion to approve. Wait a minute.
Mayor, members of council, if we could
just never that easy.
And also adopt the related ordinance. I'm sorry? Motion to approve per the Planning Commission recommendation and adopt the related ordinance.
That's exactly what I said.
And that's what I second.
All right. I'm going to look at Ms. Mullen. Is that what I said? Is that a proper motion? That's what I said?
Motion? Okay, walk me through this, Alan. You got the mayor here who's doing his job. So.
All right, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve.
Per the Planning Commission recommendation and adopt the related ordinance.
Commission recommendation
and adopt the related ordinance.
And adopt the related
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments on this item? I'll just say something. Mr. Sprite, I've seen the work that he's done in Central Phoenix on Missouri, about 8th Street in Missouri in terms of senior housing. It is first class, one that I would personally be proud to be able to put my own family members into, and I think it's going to be a welcome addition to District 5 and that part of the city, and I hope they do more work in our city. It's first-class work. Roll call.
DeCiccio? Gallego?
Yes.
Gates?
Yes.
Nowakowski? Pastor?
Yes.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Waring? Mayor Stanton? DeCiccio?
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item number 7. Oh, we already did 75? There being no further items on this agenda, no further comment cards. The meeting is... You spoke on 71, Mr. Vint. This hearing is now, meeting is now adjourned.